Welcome students. Today we will study life process part 1. Life process in living organisms is because of three things. Which are the three things important for different kind of life process? One is their food, second one is their air, and third one is their water. In this chapter we should have to take more knowledge about this food. Foodstuffs are most important things. Why? Because without foodstuffs, if we do not consume food, then we will not get energy for different processes. There will be no life at all if there is no food taken by any living organism. Therefore, this food is however important. Like that, air is also most important thing. Why? Because without air also our life is not possible. And if food is taken, already air is taken. But if we do not drink water, then food which is digested in our digested food will not be converted into its end products, or digestion is not possible without water. So food, water, air, all these are the parts of the foodstuffs. Now what is meant by food? Food means it is a substance which gives energy. Food means it is a substance which gives energy. So food is made from, or food has three main components. What are the components of the food? Do you know? First component is carbohydrate, carbohydrates. Second component is their fats, and third component is protein. Besides that, we get vitamin and minerals. We get vitamin and minerals from foodstuffs only, and you get what? You get some minerals from water. So these are the components of the food. These components of the food are called nutrients. The process in which nutrients are taken inside the body is called nutrition. Then these nutrients are taken by a different way. And to take these different nutrients in our body, some organs are necessary. There are different kind of organs, and these organs come together, they work together. There is a great coordination among different organs. Different organs come together, organ system is formed, and from this organ system, then different kind of life processes are continued in our body. So what are the organs in our body? Do you know? Mouth is one organ, tongue is organ. Then different kind of endocrine glands are the parts of our organ. Kidney, then heart, liver. Means there are number of organs found in our body. These different organs come together and organ system is formed. Do you know which are the organ systems found in our body? Yes, who can tell? First one is the digestive system. Yes, it is important because if we do not eat food, then how other system can work? So therefore, everyone is, I think you are now hungry, and therefore you have told first thing is the digestive system. Right? That is, digestive system is one of the life process. Reproductive system, then circulatory system. Next one is the excretory system, nervous system. Means these are the different systems are found under life process in every living organism. Then these organs when come together, such a kind of organ system is formed. Then these different organ systems have coordination to perform their duty, or every organ system is separately functioning. but while separately functioning, they are helping to each other. There is a great coordination. For example, you cannot take food by closing your eyes. Means eyes should help to take the food. Actually, eyes will not take. Our hand we will use hand to cut the food, to make the small piece of the food. We will put into the mouth, and then teeth will help to chew the food. But if eyes are closed, we will not get where is dish, where is water, or which things are there in our dish. Means eyes are helping, their hands are helping, fingers are helping, mouth, inside the mouth there is a tongue, that tongue, salivary gland. These are coordinating to each other, and then their function is carried out, work is done, and by that way, then when these all different organ systems are working together properly, then energy is produced. This energy is produced from these foodstuffs. So we will see that from where do we get food, what is the source of the food for living organisms. There are different sources found for the food in living organisms. For example, our life is dependent upon animals and plants for food. Certain animals are dependent for their food on plants. Means life is interdependent. We are not self-sufficient, or no living organism is self-sufficient for their food except plant. Plants are self-sufficient. Why? Means plants are independent. What is the reason? Because plants produce their own food themselves. The process in which plant produce their own food with the help of water, carbon dioxide and light is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis means the process in which plant produce their own food with the help of chloroplast, water, carbon dioxide, and produces glucose. That is called photosynthesis. Then here these plants are producing their own food. That's why they are called autotrophs. But what about the animals? Animals, or even we are, and some other different organisms are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means depend for their food on other animals. Then these plants are autotrophs, means they are producing their own food themselves. The food which is produced by themselves is consumed by themselves, and rest of the food is stored by the plant in vegetables. Since they store food, plants store excess food in root, in stem, in fruits, and even in leaves. Then we eat root, we eat stem, fruit, leaves, etc. And by that way, then food produced by the plants are obtained by us from these plants, and we consume it, and we survive, we continue our life process. Here we have studied about the different components or nutrients of the food. What are the components? That once again I am going to repeat it. There are carbohydrates, there are fats, there are proteins, vitamins and minerals, and insufficient quantity water is also part of nutrient. These all different kind of foodstuffs or these components should be taken by living organism in sufficient quantity. If these different components are not taken in proper proportion, then our digestive system or body system can disturb. To enjoy life successfully, to enjoy life happily, to maintain the health of this body, there is need that the proper proportion of fat, carbohydrate, protein, vitamin, minerals and water is necessary. That is the importance of balanced diet. What is meant by balanced diet? Balanced diet means the diet which contain proper proportion of carbohydrate, fats, proteins, vitamins and water. That is called a balanced diet. What is the importance that I am going to repeat it, that balanced diet is useful to maintain the proper health. Now we are going to study about next point of this lesson. Food is digested when we chew the food. When nutrition means the process in which food is taken inside the body, we chew the food, it passes through the esophagus, it comes into the stomach, and in stomach it is digested and afterwards it is pushed into the small intestine, and in small intestine end products of the digested foods are produced and these end products are absorbed by the small intestine, means food which comes into the stomach or it comes into the intestine. If it is stored there only and if it is not transported, then what will happen? Who will get only energy? Digestive system will get only energy. Then what about nervous system? Who will provide energy to the heart? Who will provide energy to the kidneys? Who will provide energy to the bones? Who will provide energy to the muscles? Means the food which is formed, the food which is digested in our body, it should be, or water which we have taken, that water should be transported from one organ to another organ. So food which is taken by any living organism, that food and air should be transported, and this transportation of food and air means oxygen is carried out by one of the process that is called a circulatory system. So circulatory system circulates the food and oxygen throughout the body, and thus then this food and oxygen is received to every cell, to every organ, and then energy is produced in our body, and that's why we can maintain remaining all life processes in our life. So then how is energy produced in our body, that we will see here. So production of energy is taken place in by two ways. Production of energy. Production of energy is taken place by one of the important process that is called respiration. In any living organism, either in plant or in other living organisms, in other animals, most important part or life process is respiration. What is meant by respiration? Respiration means the process in which energy is produced. Respiration means energy production process. Energy production process. Okay, understand? We can make definition. Respiration means the process in which energy is produced. Then what is necessary to produce the energy? Oxygen is most important thing. If there is no oxygen, then we can't produce energy. So respiration in human being or in most of the animals, respiration taken place at two levels. Which are the two levels of the respiration? One level is their body level, respiratory system, means energy is produced. Energy, here I am writing production of energy means that is respiration. It takes place at two levels. First level is called body level, and second one is called cellular. At cell level means cellular respiration. Okay. Then we will study about What is the respiration process take place at body level? Body level means here simply now you are there, I am here, we are taking oxygen with the help of these nose. I took oxygen and now I am going to give out the carbon dioxide. So this is called a body level respiration. The process in which, listen, the process in which oxygen is taken and carbon dioxide is given out, that is called breathing. So breathing, you know definition, you have studied about breathing. Taking oxygen inside, simple language, taking oxygen inside and giving out CO2 is called breathing. Means this is the body level respiration. Your work is get completed. Means nose, nostrils, nose and lungs are used for this purpose. Now cellular level, we will study deep about this cellular respiration. What happens in this cellular level, that we will study. In case of this cellular level, when respiration takes place, then it needs that, means oxygen should be circulated till every cell. Oxygen must be circulated. Is there only oxygen required to produce the energy? No. Side by side, food. Means food means what? The food which you are eating. Means suppose if we have eaten carbohydrates, these carbohydrates are converted into glucose. Then these glucose and this oxygen is carried out till every cell with the help of circulatory system. Means blood is an important organ. Blood is an important thing in our body which circulates oxygen and as well as food in the form of glucose. It receives these both things from brain till nail of our body. Everywhere when these things are received comes, then actually cellular respiration at cellular level starts. So we will see the different steps of cellular respiration. First step is there, cellular respiration take place in cytoplasm. Look here what I am going to write. Cellular respiration takes place in cytoplasm. Okay. In cytoplasm, when cellular respiration starts, then it has totally three main steps. First step is called glycolysis. Second step is called TCA cycle. And third step is called electron transfer chain reaction. Here the respiration which we are seeing, actually respiration are of two types. First one respiration is called aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, and second one is the anaerobic respiration. What is meant by aerobic respiration? What is meant by anaerobic respiration? This is also taken place in standard 5th, or you might have studied in 8th standard also. So let it be then also I am going to tell you here what is meant by aerobic respiration. The respiration in which energy is produced in the presence of oxygen. This aerobic respiration needs oxygen. It does not need oxygen. In anaerobic respiration, oxygen is not necessary. In aerobic respiration, oxygen is most important thing and energy is produced. Means aerobic respiration means what? The process in which energy is produced. The process in which energy is produced with the help of oxygen, that is called aerobic respiration. And this aerobic respiration takes place in most of the or almost all higher plants and animals. Now then, what is meant by anaerobic respiration? Anaerobic respiration means the process in which energy is produced without oxygen. Energy, the process in which energy is produced without oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Now we are going to study, we have seen the two types of aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now we are going to see in detail about aerobic respiration. Cellular respiration means, now here I am going to tell you the steps of aerobic respiration. Then this aerobic respiration takes place in the cytoplasm, and this aerobic respiration is taken place in three different steps. First step is called glycolysis, second step is TCA cycle, and third step is electron transfer chain reaction. We will see about glycolysis means what. I will write here, the glycolysis means the process in which pan water is formed in cytoplasm is called glycolysis. Purposely I have wrote here pan water. This is most important. I am using some code language to put into the mind. These are the hints to learn the definition, to put whole data in our mind. So I will explain more afterwards of what about pan and that all. TCA means what now? Then TCA means the process in which NADH2, FADH2 and carbon dioxide is formed with the ATP molecules. Now, electron transfer reaction means what takes place in electron transfer reaction? ATP, formation of ATP molecules. Okay. See here, we are going to study about cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the part we are going to study cellular respiration in higher animals. Higher animals means there is aerobic respiration take place, and in aerobic respiration take place in the cytoplasm. It has three steps. One is the glycolysis, second one is the TC, and third one is the electron transfer chain reaction. So glycolysis means what we will see now in deeper. Glycolysis means the process in which pan water is formed. What I have told, pan water is formed. Actually everywhere energy is produced. Water, formation of water molecules and carbon dioxide is a common thing. It is a byproduct. Now we will study about glycolysis. So definition already I have told you. What happens in the glycolysis? Glucose plus oxygen, where it takes place in cytoplasm. This reaction, no need to write this here. Glucose reacts with oxygen in cytoplasm, and what does it produce? It produces pan. I told pan word, pan water. I used pan water word. Am I right? Yes. Pan, this P, first P stands for pyruvic acid. Then A stands for ATP molecules, and M stands for NADH2 and water as it is. Okay, means when in the initial state glucose reacts with oxygen, when glucose reacts with oxygen in cytoplasm, it produces pyruvic acid, 2 molecules of pyruvic acids, 2 molecules of ATP and 2 molecules of NADH2, and water is formed. Then what happens afterwards about this pyruvic acid? Again this pyruvic acid reacts with oxygen means again complete reaction with oxygen take place in the cytoplasm only, and it produces ANC word. Keep in mind ANC means what? Pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid reacts with oxygen in cytoplasm only, and it produces A stand for acetyl coenzyme. Acetyl coenzyme plus NADH2, N stand for NADH2 and C stand for carbon dioxide. Okay, understand? Glycolysis means what? Glycolysis means the process in which glucose reacts with oxygen and it produces pan water. Pan water means pyruvic acid, ATP molecules, N stand for NADH2 and water is produced. Then this pyruvic acid again reacts with oxygen and it produces ANC. ANC means acetyl coenzyme, NADH2 and carbon dioxide is produced. Thus this glycolysis process is here completed, and now what happens? That next step is that TCA cycle. Now what is meant by TCA cycle? We will see about this TCA cycle. TCA means tricarboxylic. TCA means tricarboxylic acid cycle. This is the second step of the cellular respiration. In this second step, acetyl coenzyme which was formed from the pyruvic acid, then this acetyl coenzyme completely oxidizes with oxygen, means acetyl coenzyme totally reacts with oxygen and it produces, what does it produce? It produces NADH2, FADH2, CO2 and water. Okay. Acetyl coenzyme reacts with oxygen. When this acetyl coenzyme enters in the mitochondria, means acetyl coenzyme should come into the mitochondria, and when it comes into the mitochondria, then in mitochondria acetyl coenzyme completely reacts with oxygen and it produces NADH2, FADH2, 2 molecules of carbon dioxide, 2 molecules of water. Now the process in which means this system, this process is called a TCA cycle, means tricarboxylic acid cycle. Tricarboxylic acid cycle means what? The process in which acetyl coenzyme reacts with oxygen and produces NADH2, FADH2 and 2 molecules of carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water. That is called acetyl coenzyme. That is called tricarboxylic acid cycle. Now then these NADH2, FADH2, carbon dioxide, water molecules are formed. Then the things which are produced. Now then third important step of the cellular respiration is electron transfer chain reaction. Already in your textbook there is one diagram is mentioned about the mitochondria. This shape of the mitochondria, you may check there, such a elliptical way. There is one cell is shown, and in this there is finger shaped. This is the diagram of mitochondria. Then in this mitochondria, NADH2 enters. NADH2 plus FADH2 are reacting with oxygen, and what happens that 3 molecules, look here, NADH2 again react with oxygen and it produces 3 ATP molecules. Then again FADH2 reacts with oxygen in mitochondria under the electron transfer chain reaction. Means here this NADH2 molecules, FADH2 molecules reacting with oxygen and they produce electronic molecules, that is 3 ATP molecules are produced from NADH2 and 2 molecules of ATP are formed from FADH2. Here water plus CO2, here also water plus carbon dioxide is released. Look again, once I am going to tell you about glycolysis or about cellular respiration. First, from beginning again, once I am going to start it, listen. First step is glycolysis. Glycolysis starts in cytoplasm. What happens in glycolysis? Glucose plus oxygen, it produces PAN. PAN plus water means pyruvic acid, then ATP molecules, NADH2 and water molecules. Then this pyruvic acid reacts with oxygen and it produces acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A plus CO2 and NADH2 is produced. Then this acetyl coenzyme enters into the mitochondria. When it enters into the mitochondria, the acetyl coenzyme reacts completely with oxygen and it produces NADH2, FADH2, water and carbon dioxide. And then it comes for the electron transfer chain reaction in mitochondria only. NADH2 reacts with oxygen, it produces 3 molecules of ATP and FADH2 produces 2 molecules of ATP with the formation of water and carbon dioxide. And by this way, here aerobic respiration, totally aerobic respiration is completed. Energy is produced. By this way, the formation of energy with the help of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. Now here, from 4 minutes continuously, I am placing here or I am saying 2-3 words. That words are, one is there NADH2. It is natural that a question can come, what is meant by NADH2, what is meant by FADH2 and what is meant by ATP molecules. So it's my duty that what is meant by NADH2. So I will tell its long form. NADH2 means nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide. Then what is meant by FADH2? FADH2 means flavin adenine dinucleotide. NADH2 means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. FADH2 means flavin adenine dinucleotide. That is the long form of it. These are the chemical substances which are formed after reacting the glucose with oxygen. And ATP is most important. ATP means what? It is energy rich molecule. This ATP is called energy currency. This ATP molecule is called energy currency of a body or cell. Then this ATP means what? ATP means adenosine triphosphate. This energy which is produced, it is chemically bonded with phosphate molecules. Energy bonds are made, chemical bonds are made with phosphate molecules. This ATP actually made from actually adenine ribonucleoside. ATP is chemically, ATP molecule is made from adenine ribonucleoside. It is nitrogenous compound. ATP means actually it is nitrogenous compound. It is made from adenine, then pentose sugar and pentose sugar, ribose and plus phosphate. 3 molecules of phosphate. So this ATP means adenosine triphosphate. These ATP molecules molecules means energy rich molecules. When these are broken down, this ATP molecule is broken down. When does ATP molecule break in our body? It breaks whenever there is need of the energy. So if ATP molecule is broken, then our body gets the energy. By this way, here we have studied about this. Then these energy means ATP molecules are formed from carbohydrates. Which are the foodstuffs or which are the substances from which do we get carbohydrates? We have to study about it also. Yes, do you know who gives carbohydrates or which are the food materials contain carbohydrates? Yes, who can tell? Carbohydrates are obtained from all cereals. Which are these cereals? In case of these cereals, wheat, maize, jawar, means in short I will write all food grains. Wheat, bajra, jawar, wheat, maize, bajra, jawar. Besides that, all vegetables, all fruits contain carbohydrates only. Meat, sweet, all sweet things, sweet potatoes, only potatoes, meat, milk, all these things produce us carbohydrate. So once again I am going to repeat that the things which provide us carbohydrates, cereals, under cereals, wheat, maize, bajra, rice, jawar, different vegetables, different fruits, sweet potatoes, meat and milk, all these things are giving us carbohydrates. So whenever there is sufficient amount of carbohydrates, then our body gets easily energy continuously. But if there is an insufficiency of the carbohydrates, then what will you do? What will our body do to get the energy? So when there is no more carbohydrates available in our body, when there is no more carbohydrates are available in our body, then that time energy is obtained from lipids and proteins. Energy is obtained from lipids and proteins. What is meant by lipids? Lipids means these are the molecules formed from alcohol and fatty acids. These are the lipids, means these are the chemical substances or chemical bonds or chemical molecules which are formed from the alcohol and fatty acids. And what about protein? We get protein from pulses. You get protein from pulses and different food materials mostly related to plant. And first class proteins are obtained from animals. So animal origin protein is called a first class protein. Then when there are no more carbohydrates remaining in our body, in such a condition, means mostly if you are on fasting, if you have not got food for more than 2-4 days, means even there is no food, then also we can continue our work or we can survive. Its the reason is that when there are no carbohydrates in our body or in the presence of insufficient or if there are carbohydrates found in small quantity, then in such a condition lipids and proteins are used to produce the energy. So how and what happens, we will study about it. Lipids means what I told you. Then these lipids reacts with oxygen. Then it produces pyruvic acid. This pyruvic acid is converted into acetyl coenzyme A. And this from acetyl coenzyme NADH2 FADH2 are formed, and from it ATP molecules, means energy rich molecules are produced. Similar way, these proteins are also in the absence of, when there is lack of the carbohydrate, then these proteins are used by our body. Protein reacts with oxygen, then it produces pyruvic acid. From pyruvic acid, acetyl coenzyme A is formed. From acetyl coenzyme A from the mitochondria, then NADH2 and FADH2 are formed, and from NADH2 3 molecules of ATP, and from FADH2 2 molecules of ATP are formed. By this way, this is the process of glycolysis. This glycolysis process is discovered by 3 scientists, and in short, this glycolysis is called EMP pathway. EMP pathway. EMP pathway means what? E stand for Embedena. Gustav Embedena. Embeden was one scientist. Second scientist was there, Meyerhof. And P means Parnas. Parnas was Parnas was one scientist. Gustav Embeden, Meyerhof, Parnas. These are the 3 scientists discovered glycolysis. And just hear this: when there are no more carbohydrates remaining in our body, means in the lack of carbohydrates, body produces energy from lipids and proteins, and thus then ATP molecules are produced. This is called a Krebs cycle. And this Krebs cycle means from lipids and proteins, pyruvic acid to acetyl coenzyme to NADH2 and FADH2, and from these 2 molecules again ATP molecules, means energy rich molecules are produced, and this system is called a Krebs cycle. There was one professor whose name was there, Hans Krebs. He has discovered, and that's why in 1953 there was a Nobel Award given to Hans Krebs. Understand? Have you any problem? If you don't have problem, students, please read this again and again, and you should try to understand. Don't forget. Now we are going to study about anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means what? The respiration in which oxygen is not necessary to produce energy. So what are the examples of the anaerobic respiration? For example, there are bacteria. Then some higher plants and even animals. Generally, microorganisms do not survive in the presence of oxygen, and therefore these microorganisms are not in need of oxygen to produce the energy. So the respiration in which, or the process in which without oxygen energy is produced, that is called anaerobic respiration. Then here we will study that how is anaerobic respiration take place. For example, that we will see here, first glycolysis take place. Here also same procedure, glycolysis. Then in glycolysis, in a sufficient or in a less amount of oxygen, pyruvic acid is produced. Then in glycolysis, in less amount of oxygen, pyruvic acid is produced, and then from this pyruvic acid, then by fermentation process, alcohol is produced, and for the fermentation here microorganisms like yeast cell is used. Means the process in which microorganisms like yeast cell or some various microorganisms or erythrocytes are used for the fermentation, and some organic substances like alcohol and energy is produced, that is called anaerobic respiration. So here then first glycolysis, from glycolysis pyruvic acid, from pyruvic acid by fermentation alcohol, and what to produce this alcohol means to carry out fermentation, here yeast cell is used. Similar way again glycolysis, then here pyruvic acid, then from pyruvic acid fermentation, and from fermentation vinegar, and certain kind of vitamins are produced, and to carry out here fermentation means to produce the energy, specific kind of microbes are used, and with the help of these certain kind of microorganisms pyruvic acid is fermented, and from it vinegar and vitamins are produced along with the energy. Means alcohol or vinegar, vitamin, these are called byproduct. Besides that, again there is one example we can take in case of some higher plants or some higher animals. For example, even when germinating seed, when we sow the seeds, and if that seeds when are sown, and if that soil is submerged under the water, then there is anaerobic respiration take place. So there pyruvic acid is converted into the specific kind of here I will write here pyruvic acid is converted into the fermentation, and pyruvic acid fermentation, and from this fermentation specific kind of enzymes are produced with the help of erythrocytes. So the process in which microorganisms like erythrocytes are used to produce the energy, and some byproducts are produced, that is called an aerobic respiration. Then here enzymes, besides that enzyme, lactic acid is also produced, especially in case of human being. If we are going to do the physical work, or when players are playing, then when muscles are tired, or when we are doing exercise, then there is need of more and more oxygen. But because of less oxygen, or when muscles are tired, means actually when there is insufficient supply of the oxygen, then that time specific erythrocytes are used, and in such condition energy as well as lactic acid is produced, and that produced lactic acid is get stored in our muscles, and that's why we feel tired. Understand? So here we have studied about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now we have to study how energy is produced from other components or from other food material. Other food material means which is that one is that fatty acids. We can produce energy from fatty acids as well as from proteins. Then before half an hour I have told you that what is meant by fatty acid. Fatty acid means it is chemical substance made from alcohol, made from alcohol and fats. Okay, sorry, this is lipid. Lipid means chemical substance made from alcohol and fats. And proteins are obtained from pulses, fruits, eggs, milk. There are number of materials from which we can obtain the protein. Besides that, we obtain it from meat and flesh. So protein obtained from animals is called first class proteins. Now here we will study about protein, how energy, or side by side I am going to tell you about these both. When these fatty acid is there, means fatty substances like sweet, butter, or oily things are consumed, then these fats are converted into fatty acids. These fatty acids means these are called lipids. Then these fatty acids are oxidized with the help of oxygen. Then from it pyruvic acid is formed, and from pyruvic acid then acetyl coenzyme, and from acetyl coenzyme ATP molecule is produced. That we have studied about it. Then protein is a macromolecule. It is macromolecule. What is protein? Protein is macromolecule. These proteins are obtained from plants, fruits and animals. Then these proteins molecules, when we consume, then this protein is converted into amino acids. Amino acids means amino acid is the end product of the protein, and then this amino acid is converted into pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid is converted into acetyl coenzyme, and from acetyl coenzyme NADH2, FADH2 and from these two ATP molecules are produced. Then these ATP molecules which are produced, or these amino acids, are again used by our different body, by our cells inside our body, and then according to the need, different kind of proteins how are produced or what are their names, that we will study. For that purpose, we will keep one name, one code number in mind, MBBS PCP. You know, MBBS word is famous. MBBS word is famous means this is the degree of the doctor. And PCP, M stand for, then here I was telling you that how from amino acid different proteins are produced, that I want to tell you. So here I am going to tell you from beginning. Here M stand for M means, 1 minute. M stand for, here I will take little bit support of this textbook here. M stand for muscles. Then the second B stand for bones. Second B stands for blood. Then MBBS, S stand for skin. Then next one is there, that P means pituitary gland. Then C stands for cells, and this P stands for pancreas. Pancreas. Then these are the different kind of body organs. These are the different kind of body organs. They are producing different kind of proteins. For example, bone produces osins. Bone produces osin. Then here blood produces hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Skin produces melanin and keratin. Keratin. Then here pituitary gland produces different kind of hormones which are necessary for our growth. Then these cells produces cell membrane, and it produces certain kind of enzymes. Then next one is there that blood. Here I told you that blood produces hemoglobin and antibodies. And now here muscles. In case of the muscle, actin and myosin. Actin and myosin. These are the specific kind of proteins are produced. Means here once again we will study about these proteins. Protein is a macromolecule. These proteins are converted into the amino acids after digestion, and then from this amino acid we get the energy. From this amino acid different kind of specific kind of again proteins are produced. So there is one word MBBS TCP. I told you that M stand for muscle. These muscles are producing actin and myosin proteins. Bones are producing one of the protein called osin. Blood produces hemoglobin and antibodies. The skin produces melanin and keratin. Pituitary gland is one of the gland in our brain region, that is called a master gland. It produces various kinds of hormones. The next one is their cells. The cells are producing cell membrane and as well as various enzymes. And there is pancreas. Pancreas produces trypsin and lipase. Means these are the different kind of proteins are produced from amino acid by our body. Now we are going to study about new part. Already we have studied about lipids. There are different kind of lipids, and the different kind of lipids are used to produce different kind of substances in our body. For example, there is given that phospholipid means plasma membrane is obtained from fatty acids, and besides that from fatty acid progesterone, estrogen. Look here, what is produced from fatty acids? Fatty acids are from lipids. Lipids are used to produce following things. What is that? Progesterone, testosterone. Then there is aldosterone, aldosterone are the hormones produced from fatty acids or from lipids. Now, besides this, there are certain kind of vitamins and minerals are required to our body to get the energy. What are the types of vitamins? Vitamins are specific kind of chemical substances. It is a heterogenic material, and then these heterogenic material means vitamins. These vitamins are of 6 types: A, B, C, D, E and K are the vitamins. From this A, B, C, D, E and K, B and C are water soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins. And rest of the A, D, E and K are fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins. All these vitamins are also necessary for proper function of particular body organs. If there is lack of or due to deficiency of particular vitamin, we get different kind of deficiency diseases. That's why these vitamins should be taken by anyone in proper amount. Besides this, we are going to study about water. Water is also a specific kind of very important nutrient. It is also, we can call it that water is also life. Why water? Why should we call to water as a life of any living organism, especially of human being? Because our body cells contain 65 to 70% water. Then in this body cell is made from 65 to 70% water, and every cell has 70% water weight by weight. Plasma, blood plasma means blood is also contains 70%. Blood cell contains, here I will write blood cell. Blood cell contains 70% water by weight, and blood plasma contains 90% of water. If the percentage of water is get disturbed, then our life comes in danger. Therefore, water is also life. So, carbohydrates, proteins, and fatty acids, all kind of minerals, along with this water, each and everything is required to get energy. There is need the proper percentage of all these constituents in our body to maintain the good health. By this way, we will stop here and we will see next part of this lesson in next video. If there is any problem, if you have got any difficulty up till here, you may write me or you may send me message. I will try to clear it. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. You should subscribe yourself, write your comments, share your likes, and also tell to your friends. Thanks for watching our video.